Pound a tilde divided by half I circumflex a letter acute, a half 3/4 Chinese letter, or letter 3 F 2 cents letter 3 CA, Cyrillic letter 4 BB 3/4 Chinese letter acute, a tilde embarks on IU begins pound sign ahead of IU before, in advance pound sign a quarter, out tilde acute U15 OMAT micro yen 10 retroflex, AOMAT symbol 360 HO plus or minus band 3 OMAT, Ogov Braille 1267, pound copyright. He pretends to open up to the doctor, but quickly realizes through body language that the doctor is gay, which surprises him greatly. The hired hypnotist is treated like a clown by Jack, and he ends up scaring away 4 or 5 psychologists. Jack's prof sees it's tricky and invites his expert peer in psychology. Old Joe gave up consulting after losing his love years ago and returned to teaching in a small town, initially reluctant. When he learns Jack's experience resembles his, he makes an exception, only to find the first encounter tense. Jack, as usual, checks for weaknesses and finds one in the wall painting. At the very beginning, Jack asks, "Did you marry the wrong person? What exactly happened? Is she going to leave you? If you lose my wife one more time, I won't hold back." After saying this, old Joe is stunned. He didn't expect such a response. But no worries, Jack has achieved his aim, while old Joe is left drowning in his grief for his late wife. To confront his inner pain, old Joe decides to meet Jack again. This time they decide to meet in the park, kicking off one of cinema's most famous lakeside talks. Old Joe said frankly, "Your last words hurt me. I pondered all night and realized you're just immature. If I ask you, I'll talk about Van Gogh's sunflowers, but you've never even been to Amsterdam. Ask about war, you shout, 'Let's fight, friend,' but never faced one. You don't even understand what true loss is, because you're just imagining it. You've never felt the helplessness of watching life slip away right before your eyes. Ask you about love, and I'll recite 1,000 things, yet you've never truly committed. You can't grasp knowing a loved one's terminal, just holding hands till the end. But you've never understood that only when you love others more than yourself can you truly feel. When I gaze into your eyes, I see no wisdom or confidence. You're a cocky kid scared silly by the world. Yes, you're a genius. But don't randomly guess the nature of my relationship with my wife based on just a painting. Do you really know the struggles of life? I have heard countless stories. Can you feel any of this? For me, I simply don't care, because I know the limits of what I can learn. I can't learn anything from books unless you want to talk about yourself." Jack's psychological defenses finally break down, revealing his inner vulnerability. In the pouring rain, he tries to call that Harvard girl, but hangs up without saying a word. He's grown accustomed to hiding in his shell, yet yearns for change. So the next day, he seeks out old Joe, trying to change his circumstances. In this meeting, Jack is unusually quiet, and old Joe understands that the other needs time. Until one day, there's a rumor that Jack meets the girl again in a store. When they talk face to face about their experiences, the girl is open, but Jack hesitates to share, yet their souls draw closer. Seeking advice, Jack turns to old Joe and tells him he met a perfect girl. Old Joe immediately replies, "Then just ask her out." But Jack worries that he might expose his flaws. Old Joe shares about his wife, recounting the little misunderstandings and arguments that only make him miss her more. Because we both know each other's flaws, learning to accept each other's imperfections is how we truly enter one another's worlds. When you truly love someone, you learn to appreciate their flaws. The girl you're seeing isn't perfect, but how you feel about her is what matters. That's the essence of emotion, and with old Joe's guidance, Jack musters the courage to date her. Unfortunately, he has been delayed because of chemistry homework. Jack reluctantly decides to return another day, yet impatiently he runs to a calf. He scribbles complex chemical equations on a napkin and hands it to her. It only took him 3 minutes for what would take others a day, and their day begins. At the dog racing track, the girl excitedly holds a telescope while Jack is captivated by her joy. That night, they solidified their relationship, yet the professor and old Joe disagreed. The professor wants Jack to apply his talents for the greater good, while old Joe thinks it's still too early. Old Joe knows that although Jack is exceptionally gifted, his mind is not yet mature. If pressure is exerted too early, it will only backfire. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.